Sometimes we as Americans take for granted how unusual the sport of bodybuilding seems in other countries. When the North American Bodybuilding Championships were held in Mexico City, U.S. athletes were awestruck at the attention they received from the Mexican bodybuilding fans. Despite the circus-like atmosphere surrounding the competition, there were athletes from 3 nations gathered, and only 1 pro card for the overall champion. 2 years after she lost the overall to heavyweight Kim Chizevsky at the North American, Marta Sanchez came back for vengeance. The perfectly proportioned native of Mexico City was in front of a hometown crowd that wouldn't be satisfied until she won the overall title. Fresh off her win at the Natural Team Universe in Chicago, California's Jodi Friedman decided on a whim to give the North American another try. She repeated her middleweight victory from the year before and, as always, had her fingers crossed for the overall. Like many other Americans, the food situation in Mexico had her grateful she lived in L.A.
Because it's easy to get food out in restaurants around Gold's Gym in Venice. There are a lot of restaurants that cater to people that eat no fat, no sugar. It's very difficult to just get what you need in other places, even other places in the United States.
Making a strong showing in her first try as a heavyweight was Lei Lani. She's been at the national level for several years and competes not just for the elusive goal of becoming a professional.
And my main goal is to make an impact throughout the world, so as long as the people are behind me, I continue to show off.
Another familiar face was Ms. California, Heather Tristany. Trained by her husband, noted psychotherapist John Tristany, Heather's physical improvements are obvious. Another first-time heavyweight was Brenda Raganot from Kent, Washington. Just about everyone had her pegged to win the overall title. Working as a postal employee, she got hooked on bodybuilding after trying many other sports in high school.
After high school, I've only done like basketball, soccer, and tennis, and softball. I'd say the usual sports. But once I touched the weight, this is it. I said, this is the one.
The Mexico City crowd went, as they say, loco when hometown favorite Marta Sanchez won, becoming Mexico's first female professional bodybuilder. You'd expect the most potential in a bodybuilding contest to be in the light heavy or heavyweight class, but this time it was a bantamweight. Genaro Alvarado from the tiny Mexican village of Urupan had the type of muscle shape and symmetry that we've seen on only a few occasions. Soon, Genaro plans to immigrate to Los Angeles, train, and add enough mass to move into the lightweight class. Genaro has been weight training since he was 12 years old with his older brother. But even with his guidance, Genaro's muscle development is most amazing in light of his limited nutritional availability and financial resources. If there is anyone in amateur bodybuilding that has all of the physical and mental abilities to become a successful professional, it's Genaro. This contest had several repeat class winners, including lightweight Humberto Crespo, who had won this class at last year's North American in Tijuana. Originally from Mexico, he now works as a chef in Los Angeles. He soon will become an American citizen and will compete as a Yankee. New Jersey's Ismael Gonzalez took his first stab at the national level and placed a respectable fourth. His good looks and symmetry were a big hit with the audience, yet he only received 2 call-outs during prejudging. Ismael, confident as always, had an explanation.
I think because I got the size and the full package, they have to compare people that they don't think they are on the top, you know? So, as far as confidence, I have that confidence. They only compare me once. When you're that good, they're only going to look at you once.
An equally popular crowd favorite was California's Danny Hester, who used a Julio Iglesias song for his posing routine and had the Mexican crowd rooting for him. Despite the excitement, Danny had an unusually calm demeanor both on and off stage, which he claims is a result of his preparation.
Because I came in shape, and when you come in shape, you hold a lot of confidence, and I think the audience can see that. And that makes everything much more easier. You know, you feel more comfortable about yourself, and you can relate with the audience a lot better. You don't have to really worry about how you're looking and what they're thinking about you. You know, you just have a lot of fun.
Strangely enough, neither shapely, symmetrical American won. The mostly Mexican judges favored a thicker, though blocky, Jose Luis Renteria. Light heavyweight runner-up Henrik Thamasian is a familiar face to Southern Californians due to his numerous regional wins there. But he has now made the step up to the national level. The mild-mannered Henrik may be soft-spoken, but he has a reputation for always competing in prime conditions. Like Jodi Friedman, Ronnie Coleman also just won the Natural Team Universe and thought he'd stop by the North American before advancing to the World Amateur Championship in Taiwan. Even though he trains very hard, Ronnie is quick to attribute his fantastic physique to a higher power.
Well, I'll be honest with you. One thing I do is I get on my knees and pray to God and thank him for me having great parents to give me the genetics to look like this. For the most part, I've been learning more and more about my body, and I'm finally starting to get it together, nutritionally and training-wise. This year I used a lot more supplements than food, believe it or not, and it's working for me.
Edgar Fletcher still has the potential to be a top pro. We're all waiting for him to come into contest in top condition and fulfill his destiny. Chicago's Chuck Sanow has been a consistent placer at the national level as a light heavyweight. However, during his diet this time, he realized it was time to move on.
When I tried to get down to light heavy, it just wasn't going to happen. There's no way. As soon as I got under 210, it was like my whole energy level, everything just went down the tube. So I figured as long as I felt good at 210, I might as well try it. See what happens with the big boys.
Deja vu struck for the last time in the heavyweight as Georgia's Stan Curly-Top McCrary placed second again. A family man from Atlanta, Georgia, he's also placed top 5 at the Nationals and has everybody talking about his incredible thickness. Jeff Poulin had been biding his time for almost 2 years, adding the size he needed to make the transition from a light heavyweight to a full-fledged heavyweight. Finally, Jeff's upper body matches his tremendous legs, and his dreams of attaining professional bodybuilding status have come true. Jeff began training as a teenager and won many teenage titles and later regional events. But he's always been regarded as a sleeper and overlooked. Although he trains at Gold's Gym in Venice, he never shows off. In fact, the first time anyone saw his improvements was at the weigh-ins. For the American and Canadian competitors, the event was one they won't soon forget as they headed north to their respective countries. The Mexican athletes had also witnessed a first, as one of their own earned pro status. For Muscle Magazine, I'm Andy Stevens.